Hi, everyone.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Good evening to everybody. This is Citrus and Gold, Joseph Yanis, and Heather Toon. We're here tonight to talk about our free Advent calendar for December, how you can get it, and what it can do for you, as well as have a general conversation about debt consolidation, what the standard debt consolidation is, and how it works, and some other options that I offer, some things that I'm putting together, and see if we can do it a little better for our customers.
So, currently, right now, we are rebranding and restructuring the company. Every week, we're going to start going live with Zooms. If anyone has any topics that they want to talk about, please let us know. Either email or message us is pretty good at responses. We're also going to start bringing in more education with this change. We're going to be offering 6-week courses. Our first 6-week course is going to be called Smart Money. It's going to be a little bit of everything. Savings, setting up financial goals, debt consolidation, setting up budgets, what credit is, how to get it and keep it well. All that kind of stuff is covered in that course. We're also going to start rolling out one-time, 1-hour courses pretty soon. The first one's going to be creating a budget. It's going to be a free course that we're going to be offering in December to start the new year correctly. And then we are also going to be offering a free Marvels class for 2nd to 5th graders in December.
It's going to be fun.
Joe's going to teach that one, and he's going to encourage people to dress as their favorite Marvel characters.
Only the kids, not the adults.
So during the month of December, let's talk about that. So during the month of December, we have that Advent going on, the December 2025 Back on Track Savings Advent. The emails went out Tuesday with a link to get the free PDF, and anyone that follows that link and leaves their email, I will add you directly to the Facebook group. If you don't know where that link is, I'll post it in the group, in the Facebook event page, as well as on our Facebook page right after this Zoom. You're going to follow that link, and it's going to give you a PDF with basics of what you're doing all month long. And then I will add you to a group. And each morning at 12:01 a.m., we will have a post go automatically up explaining exactly what that day means and what you can do to follow through with it. It's going to be really informative. If you're in the group, it's going to be super great. Joe and I are going to be checking in there personally and answering any questions. It's going to be a general question group, though. We do not want anyone posting any personal information or personal questions or personal circumstances within that group because it is open. We want everyone to get in there, talk amongst each other. I'm sure other people have tips that we don't even know yet that they could share. Everyone keeps asking about their Christmas money. We are not taking your Christmas money. This is money that we are helping you find in other areas of your life. You get to keep your Christmas budget. It's probably something I've been joked about with quite often. There's going to be no selling or marketing inside of that group. This is strictly just to get yourselves back on a budget, back on the habit of putting money into a savings account and not touching it. Anyone that posts about selling or marketing or anything like that will be strictly removed, and there is no re-entry. To prep for this Advent, the only thing that you need to do is print out the last 6 months of bank and credit card transactions that you have. And then also have a savings account that you're willing to dedicate specifically to this. It could be something that's already opened and established with money going in it, or it could be a brand new account. I think that most credit unions, it's only like $1 to open up an account. Some private banks are a little bit more. But you can go ahead and check around and look into interest rates, and whatever works for your budget is what you got to do. And that whole month is really what works with whatever your budget is. We're not telling you to take money to pay Paul, from Peter to pay Paul. We're going to just work with you on what you have and what you can get in there. Um, if you have any questions, let us know in the comments, and we're going to answer them after Joe has some information about debt consolidation.
Yeah, so again, what she's talking about is we're going to find ways that you can spend less of the money that you're already using and take that. Those are some of the strategies we're going to use in the Advent, just to touch on that a little bit. So, my general conversation today is going to be basically talking about credit card debt and debt consolidation. A lot of people are familiar and heard about debt consolidation companies. The way they work is a little different from the way they sound. First things first, so with a debt consolidation company, the first thing that they do is they have you take cash wherever you get it from and put it into an escrow account, and that cash has to stay there for the perpetuity of the duration of the settlement process, which can take, they'll tell you 3 to 5 years. That's a rough estimate. It can go a little sooner than the 3 year mark, but that depends on a lot of different things. So that's one way to do it with a regular debt consolidation company. I found by doing people's credit that usually hurts people's credit in the long run. Like, it's really hard to recover from that. What the strategy is with that is you take the money that's in the escrow, they hold on to it, and they keep it to the side. Meanwhile, any of your cards that have these high balances, they're actually going to go and they're going to not pay the bill. So you're going to accumulate lates over the course of time. They're going to let these accounts go into charge-off mode, which is anything over 90 days. That's going to close your account. Destroy your good payment history, which your payment history is something that you can't just get back. You can only acquire it through years of paying on time. So once everything is in the charge-off mode, they'll wait even longer. They'll let it sit in collections, which will continue to downgrade your credit over time. And then what they're looking for is they're looking for these credit card companies to offer you debt settlement letters, which some of you may have gotten in the past, where they'll offer you 60, 75% of the total balance. They'll offer you, they'll basically discount the payment that you have to make so that you can clear up the account. So in the process of doing that, you destroy your credit, you destroy your history, and it's something that it takes just 3 to 5 years to get into it, and then probably another 3 to 5 years at least to get out of it, because you're going to have to make these new accounts, and you're going to have to build up that history, and it's going to take 3 to 5 years. As these accounts age, that's how they get the strength. So when you destroy these old accounts, just so you could save a percentage, it hurts you in the long run. So what they do is at that point, they'll take the debt settlement letters that they receive, and they'll usually call them back, and they'll offer them a little bit lower rate. They usually get like 50%. So if you have $20,000 credit card, they might get you $12,000 or $10,000 payoff. And then what that's going to do is it's basically going to save you a little bit of money, but now you're going to have this derogatory account that once, just because you pay it off, doesn't mean that the account is gone. The account stays on your credit report with all the lates, the charge-offs, the bad payment history, and then you're right back in the same boat where you would be if you had to come to me to get that removed anyway, because they don't remove those negative accounts. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, the most of what goes on. As far as their payment and pricing, they do have monthly service fees. They have fees for success. Usually it's like 15 to 20% of whatever they saved you. They get to keep out of that escrow. And again, with the escrow, you have to have these funds up front. That's, and it's going to be tied up for a real long time. Those funds are just going to be sitting there waiting to be used to pay off settlements. And then they're going to basically collect a lot of the change. You'll save a little, but in the long run, it it hurts your credit. It hurts you. It hurts your chances for a loan. If you're going for that house, it's going to take even longer than what it would have if you try to look at it from a different approach. What I've been working on and what I've been trying to do is a lot different. I want to say a little different, but it's actually a lot different. So first thing is, I don't want to put any of your accounts into charge-off mode. So let's say it's an open account with a high balance. What I like to do is I try to help you find money that you already have. Everybody's different, so everybody has different things they could draw from. Some people might have a house that we could pull some equity out. We could do a refi. We can do a HELOC, take some money out to pay these debts down, keep the account open and in good standing. That alone by itself is miles different and so much better for you in the long run, because now you don't have an open account that one gets closed, then goes derogatory, then there's a charge off, and as each step progresses, your score goes down, and it's harder to get back out of that. Especially if you have to rebuild from scratch, it'll take you years to do that. My other option is if you already have items that are in collections, kind of the same process. We try to find money that you have or that you can acquire without going through the pain of putting everything into a derogatory mode or a charge-off in collections. So the closed or charge-off accounts that have balances, again, I'd look for, you could borrow against like a 401k. You could take money out of your house. You could even go get a personal loan. In some cases, if you're eligible, you can even get another credit card with a zero balance for a year, and that could give you a little bit of alleviate a little bit of the pressure from it. It's not the best long-term goal, but the biggest thing I try to do is to keep the open accounts from going derogatory. And making it so you don't have to, one, remove all that stuff, because that could take months, if not a year or more, to remove a bunch of charge-offs and stuff. But then you get, like I said, you have to build back all these accounts, and you have to basically rebuild your credit from scratch. So with a bad credit score, it's going to be tough to get approved for a card. You're not going to have a lot of good options. Your interest rates are going to not be so good. It's going to be a long, hard road to do that. So now my process is, once we find the funds that you need to try to pay these things off, whatever the amount is that you have, we try to make a budget to figure out how much we can pay for whatever account you're trying to pay off with the amount of money that you have, and whether we do different things for open and closed accounts. So the closed accounts, obviously, I'll personally call. I can either get a limited power of attorney and do everything for you, or I can call different collectors up and basically haggle with them on the phone directly. I got a good record of getting like 50% of whatever the debt is pretty quick when it's a charge off or it's already in collections. Just like a week or two ago, I saved somebody like 8 G's on like a 2-hour phone call. And they only had to be on the phone for 5 minutes because I sat on hold. I did all the waiting and all the talking. And once we got to the point where I needed somebody, because I didn't have power of attorney, to give me permission to speak, I dialed them in. They gave me permission to speak, and I was able to make a great deal. Actually, that client, I did a lot of them for. I got rid of like 10 different accounts, and I think they were in a consolidation for like a year, and they were just starting to pick some things off, but I took care of it in about a month. The hardest part for the client was having the funds available, but we found the funds, and we basically put them to good use. And right now, all these derogatory accounts, now when I do it, not only am I doing the talking and doing the settlement offer, so I know how to talk to them and get them to usually come down as far as they can, right down to their limit. But as well, when I'm discussing it with them, I ask for the charge-off letter or a payoff letter, basically stating that, okay, once the final payment on that account is made, whatever the charge-off is, Now we're going to send you a letter saying, hey, you paid it off. There's a zero balance, uh, and you're no longer in collections. And that I use to then write letters to the bureaus to take off those negative accounts, which a consolidation company does not do.
Oh,
What's going down, Tony? That was Anthony.
oh, sorry.
No, yeah, he's one of our people.
Yeah, if you have a comment, leave it here. I'm so sorry. I'm learning how to use live, to be honest. I have no idea how to use this thing yet.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. It's not like credit repair. It's a little more difficult. But yeah, Anthony, Tony, you got any questions? Pop them in there. Good to see you. That was
Yeah.
Beetlejuice at the Halloween party.
Oh, nice to
Yeah.
see you, Tony. Hi, Michelle, if you're with him.
Yes, yes. So yeah. Um, where was I? So basically, like I was saying, what I try to do is make it so that you save your money or spend less money paying off these bad debts, but in the process, you're not destroying your credit score. The biggest thing is your payment history. So if you have a card that you've had for 10 years, and you have the option to keep the card in good standing rather than put it into charge off with five lates at 120 days or 150 days, it'll totally save you years of having to restart with a new card, paying it off on time, every payment. Uh, so there's a big cost difference. Like I don't necessarily charge the 15 to 20%. Um, I don't have any maintenance fees for your account. I don't have a monthly stipend. There's no escrow that you have to put into a bank account that I get to control. You basically have all the control. All I do is I contact the lenders or the furnishers and make the best deal in for you, and make it so that you don't have to pay them as much in the case of a charge off. The other option, if the account is open and we want to keep it open, what I try to do is same thing. We try to find these funds. If we can find enough to pay it off down to zero, that's great, but that's harder to do than it is to say. So a lot of the times we try to find creative ways to do a budget. Sometimes we do like a snowball budget. So if there's multiple accounts, we'll set a budget of, we have $500 a month that we could put towards all these open credit cards. We make sure everybody gets the minimum payment. Whatever's left on that total amount of whatever our budget is, hypothetically it's 500. We'll put that towards the lowest amount on an open card. Once that open card on the bottom is paid off, say it was $110 that we were giving it, we take that $110 and we take all of it. We don't reduce how much we're paying. We take that whole amount and we go to the next lowest card on the list and we add that to whatever we were paying as a minimum. And as we get closer to the bigger cards and the bigger amounts, we have a bigger chunk that we could take out of them. But during that whole process, as you're paying the balances down on the smaller cards, it's almost like a batting average in baseball. Statistically, your your utilization of your credit cards, which is another big part of your credit score, a big part of your score, is going to come down quite a bit. And as you knock those down to zero and you start working on the next set, again, it's going to give you little jumps every month as long as you're consistent and we don't miss any of those payments. And in the meantime, I usually write letters and stuff to them, trying to remove some of the lates, if there's any lates on the open accounts, clean those good accounts up. So instead of just destroying your credit and waiting 3 to 5 years, we try to work with what you have and we kind of manicure your credit report along the way. Like as we're paying stuff down, we're still writing letters, we're still sending out disputes, and in some cases, we might be able to get something to disappear off the credit report without even paying it. Sometimes you don't even notice it, and it's past the statute of limitations. It's past 7 years, and they shouldn't legally be asking you for the money. But if you don't know that and you want to pay them, they're going to take it. But these are all different things that we look at as we're doing our my version of debt consolidation. Um,
And honestly, as soon as you destroy your credit, that's worse than having no credit at all, or bad credit
Yeah.
is way worse than no credit. Anyone will tell you that.
Yeah, actually, a couple people that I know have had no credit, and I gave them a little bit of advice, and their score immediately jumped because when you have no history, no credit, it's a way different ball game than if you have a bad payment history, derogatory accounts. They it's a lot harder to climb out of that hole. Yeah, so it's definitely better to not give yourself derogatories because they're not easy to get away. They haunt you and they last for a long time until you can get them off. It could take me 1 month. It could take me 5 months to get off a derogatory account. Um, it really depends on the details I'm working with within the law for the Credit Reporting Act. But just safe to say, it's way better to just work the options that I'm putting forward rather than to just go to consolidation. And you're basically putting everything in someone else's hands. And in a lot of cases, at least it seems like those people don't really care about your long-term problems. They're looking to make their settlement offers and collect the VIG, whatever percentage they were going to get, plus their maintenance and all the other fees that go with it. Um, I like to think of what we do as more like personal service for our clients. It's rather than like everybody knows I'm not a millionaire. I'm not getting there doing it like this anytime soon, but I'm helping a lot of people. And that's its own kind of pay in itself. It makes me feel good. It really does. And my customers can see it. If they've worked with me and they've seen any of the things I've done for them or their family, they'll tell you right away. I always have the best intentions to get people the right product at a good price. Yeah, that's basically kind of the way I try to roll things. Um, we got a couple. What do we got? Anthony, I see you one step at a time. Good one, guys. Yeah. Any questions? How you doing today, Ant?
Hi, sorry.
We missed you.
So, all right. So the next, we're gonna start doing these lives every week. So if anyone has any ideas of any Facebook lives that they'd like to see, maybe how to build credit. If you don't have credit, might be next week. That's a good one. Um, any other ideas? Let us know. There are some things about the December Advent that I forgot to add before. So I'm gonna have that private group that's gonna be open just for the Advent. And in that group, you're going to be able to ask the general questions and everything. It's going to be closed as of the 2nd of December. So I will be adding everyone until December 1st. So if you want to be added, go ahead and click the link that I'm going to put up on Facebook tonight. Download the PDF, and then when you put your email in there, I will be able to add you directly to the group. That'll be happening this weekend. That way everyone has some time to prep for it. Again, the prep is just printing out your last 6 months of bank and credit card statements and getting a dedicated savings account to get into the new year with a savings instead of a debt like normally.
Yeah,
All
that's a
right.
good goal by itself.
Yeah, I know that definitely
Definitely a
is.
good goal. Have a couple extra bucks in your pocket rather than zero. And oh, by the way, those bills, here they go.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely something that I happy to be past. Past that's beautiful.
And again, we were rolling out that 6-week course starting December 5th, if you're interested. And we are going to be having that free how to create a budget course coming up soon. More information on Facebook. And we'll also be having that Marvels class for the kids. The 2nd to 5th grade is usually good for that. But anyone can. I'm sorry, I was reading a comment.
Tony, I'll give you a shout after we get off here if that's cool with you.
Yeah, definitely. So a quick thing, when you guys, something I keep hearing from mortgage lenders, I actually talked to a realtor about it today.
Debt to income.
Yes, debt to income ratio. So your your credit score is not just about your the debt that you have. It also, I'm told, includes your income level based on your credit
Well, if they take your
limits.
income and they figure out how much expense you have in a year compared to your income, and then you figure out how much money is left over. And due to percentages, that's how they can figure out if you can get approved for a loan, whether it's a car, mortgage, mostly a mortgage. But yeah, debt to income, keeping that debt level down, or uh, the balances on the cards, and how many loans you have that you have to every month pay off, and how much that is compared to what you make for the year. Those could hurt you. That's a whole nother day, a whole nother
Yeah,
story.
definitely.
But yeah, debt to income is a lot bigger than what most people realize when you get in a house.
Yeah, I actually had no idea until people started telling me when I was working with Jeff. Um, all right, everyone. So thank you guys for joining us. Again, we're going to be back next Wednesday, 8 o'clock. We're going to make this a weekly event, either with or without both of us.
Send me some suggestions. I want to hear what you guys want to learn about or what you think's important.
Yeah, definitely. Text, email, message. Let us know what you guys want our Zooms to be about. These are always going to be free Q&As for general information. And again, join the Facebook event. It's completely free. Let's start 2025 off correctly with a savings instead of a debt.
Yeah, let's set some goals, reach them, and set a good pace for the new year. Get us on a winning streak right off the bat, and set that fence, set that standard where you want it to be. You want to continuously do better, one bite at a time, as I say, of the elephant. But it always starts with doing that first step. So come do that advent calendar with us, and come do that step with us. Let's see what we could do together.
Yep, and I'll be posting the link for the Advent group right after this on our Facebook page. All right, have a great night, everybody.
Good night, guys.
Thank you.
See you Wednesday.
Yeah, see you next Wednesday.